This initiative, which is phased over 7 years and seeks to level the playing field of secondary education financing by allocating public resources to secondary schools on a per-student basis and including compensation component of additional funding for students identified as having academic or socioeconomic need. Related to this secondary education finance reform, we are currently engaged in negotiating with secondary schools a restructuring and capping of secondary school fees. This we propose to include waivers of fees for students identified as having socioeconomic need. All of you know that secondary schools charge fees, and these fees vary widely from school to school, program to program. If you're a student or parent, you will know that these fees can be exorbitantly high, and even if you're not a student or a parent, you know that. Such high fees can result in socioeconomic exclusion of many within our society who cannot afford to pay. Most of you here today are also aware of the pledge made by our Prime Minister in his 2014 New Year's message to pay for the sitting of certain number of CXC, that is CSEC exams, for those qualifying on the basis of need. This initiative will harmonize with other initiatives of the ministry. And first, it will allow more students to potentially qualify for CSEC scholarships to earn their associate degrees. We will be providing an official release on this shortly. Second, it is in preparation of our efforts at establishing a national qualification framework, which we hope to include a national secondary certification, which may include a minimum number of passes in key CXC subjects. Therefore, no matter how you acquire these passes, whether through formal or non-formal schooling, you would be considered to have high school equivalency. There are three messages that I would like you to take away today from our interaction. The first is that the philosophy of social justice that underpins all of these efforts, and indeed the broader efforts of the government of Belize, the efforts are all aimed at creating a more equitable, socially just society. The second point follows from the first. You will note that these reforms are targeted to those identified as having socioeconomic need, those who are socially, economically excluded, those who are marginalized. The beneficiaries of these reforms will all be objectively determined. We in the Ministry of Education have partnered with the Ministry of Human Development. We get to identify the beneficiaries of our programs, while they get a wider pool of potential beneficiaries for other social safety net programs.